Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Good evening, everyone. Hey, we're back again for another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation with my co-hosts, or should I say co-host, Tavikiz. Hey.
Hey.
And then there were two. It's a pretty strange looking studio this evening, isn't it? It's like, where's everybody gone? They've left us, Tavi. They've left us.
It's turning into that episode with
Beverly.
with Gates McFadden.
Yes, everyone starts disappearing. And she's like, where is everyone? Yeah. And our live chat will be going, but it was always just you two.
Oh, that would have been on point if they did that to us.
Yeah. The TNG review show doesn't need any more than just you two. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's always been. What?
It's always been this way. What? But who does the questions? Yeah. That'd have been class. We should have done that for that episode. Anyway, we are here. The TNG review show is still soldiering on, with myself, Monteban, and my co-host, Tavikins Turner. And Tavi, how have you been this evening? As you saw,
I have been very good.
Good.
It's been a busy week with the Munchkins. The snow is finally melting, and all of the Norwegians, including myself, are confused because we usually are still knee-deep in snow, but we've seen grass, and the children are like, grass!
What is this green stuff?
So it's like, whoa, like it's Christmas.
Yeah. Well, bless them. But you don't want to know that here all the daffodils are out and the flowers are starting to flower, and Yes, spring is sprung. It's still a little chilly today. It's it's only between 12 and 14 degrees, which is pretty cold. But,
is that what's chilly now?
yeah, that's cold. But, yeah, so good evening to everybody in live chat. We've got Massimo Bob, our other co-host, who is absent. She's travelling back at the moment, I think, on a train, so her reception is not going to be too good, I don't think. But unfortunately, she's away this week, so can't make the review. But of course, Massimo Bob will be back in charge of the Goofs and Trivia next week. And good evening to Ruth. Good evening to Tired Time Lord. Yo, sir. I hope you're well. Good evening to Stu Plum. My wrench Smiler Rainbow is in the house. She's not on any taxi duties this evening, so we should have our wrench about. Yes, the grass is growing. I'm going to have to look at. Hopefully, it's going to be dry on the weekend, and we can get the lawnmower out. And yes, good evening to all you guys. I hope you're all well. Oh, and Wookie. Let me try it. No, I can't. I still can't do it. I still no, we need
that's
Sean.
actually quite good.
we need Sean for that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Smiler Rainbow's here. So Shuttlecraft in the sky. It's for you.
Yeah. But this evening we are consigning to our vault another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, and this evening that episode is Inheritance. Oh, and Smiler Rainbow liked her theme tune.
Oh.
Yeah, Inheritance, another Data episode for you, Tavi, so I'm sure there's going to be lots for you to meow over.
Definitely, yes. I'm appreciating the Data content.
Yeah.
Taster.
I will say this week that Sean's inspired Star Wrecked song has now become the most popular song on the Star Wrecked channel. So congratulations to Sean for suggesting the topic of the song. I'm sure he's very pleased, and we would have heard about it this evening. But,
John's gold. John always has the good ideas.
Yeah, he might be back a little bit earlier than we thought as well, because it looks like they're taking a break over the Easter holiday. So hopefully he'll be back.
They will release him to us.
Yeah. So that'll be good. Tired Time Lord's hit 100 subs. He's into triple figures. Congratulations, sir. That's amazing news. Very cool. Some of his skits that he does is so funny. The way he uses the green screen and like layers it up. It's very clever. And I'm glad for you, mate. Yeah, congratulations. Cool. Yes, so we're going to get on with Inheritance then. So we're tonight discussing episode 10 of season 7 of Star Trek The Next Generation, production number 40277-262. It first aired on the 22nd of November, 1993 in the United States, and is the 161st to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by, and the original story and the teleplay was by Dan Koppel. This was his one and only Star Trek writing credit. He actually hasn't got much of a writing history at all, really, as far as like screenplays and film work goes. But he did a lot of writing for like bike magazines. Things, magazine writer. So big, so that's interesting. The teleplay though he had a helping hand with the teleplay from Rene Echeverria, which is his 14th of 18 writing credits for TNG. His next one being Lower Decks. Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. So we have a veteran here that's still going. Huh?
Indeed. It was directed by Robert Shearer. This was his last TNG episode he directed of 11 episodes. We've talked about him a number of times in the past. But yes, this is Robert Shearer's last episode. Monty, if you want to go down to postage stamp size, we can have a large image of Tavikins. Oh, you want me to...
Oh, I thought we were equal.
There you go. We can do that, look. It's like...
I didn't realize I was postage stamp size. I don't know if I need to be on full screen. Thank you.
We can do that. Oh, we can do that. I don't know. I don't like that. It's just too much. It's just too much. Too much of me. Yeah,
is it not equal right now? We have two equal, right?
We're two equal, yeah. But what my audience is saying they want you more than me.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's all right. We're both going to be small in a minute because I'm going to put the picture up. The pictures, because we all like the pictures. Once I just remembered, I forgot to bring up my spinny wheel because we need the wheel spinner as well. With the names.
And of course, with us being so thinned out, I think it's only fair if you add me as the white hole to Wookiee's black hole on the wheel. So if you get me, you'll get 10 plus points.
There we go. It's the Tab Show. Wookie asks, Wookie gets. That's right. That's right. If you want Tavikins large, we can have Tavikins large. There you go. Tavi loves it. Look, she loves being the centre of attention. I'm sure Mr. Tavikins can attest. She's not cringing.
I'm one of those people that cringe at the sound of their own voice if you play back anything or videos with me. And I haven't watched most of our review things because I just can't stand to see myself.
No, I used to, early days of my YouTube, like a few years ago, I used to watch back the episodes all the time to double check how it come across, was the sound right, did the lighting look good, all that sort of thing. Was the content interesting? But it's just so cringy to look at yourself that after a while I couldn't do it anymore. It's like, no, I'd just rather not. It's like, yeah.
The beard is in the house.
The beard is in the house. Good evening, Gujon. I hope you're well, sir. Right, let's get a screenshot up.
Get on with it.
Yes. There we go. I won't have to use my
shut up, Sean.
Tonight. None of that. No. This could be the fastest TNG review show ever, couldn't it?
Oh, I'll try to draw it out. We need more bingo, so
I'll have to think about getting those references in there. Yeah. Oh, he's good. The beard is well. Okay, so we start off with the teaser, as always, and as with a lot of episodes, we start off with a customary Captain's Slog, where we learn that the Enterprise has been requested by the Atrian government to assist in preventing a natural disaster. 2 geologists have come aboard to help, and one of them is human. So we go to the observation lounge and meet the 2 geologists, Dr. Pran and Juliana Tainer. They warn how the planet will be uninhabitable in 13 months. That is a disaster for sure. Geordie and Data show how they plan to reliquefy the planet's core. And they give a nice PowerPoint presentation.
Look at my man.
Oh, do you want
to?
Man. Well, look at those shoulders. Look at that triangular
the length
shape.
Of those arms.
Gets you every time. So they're giving a PowerPoint presentation on how they're going to use the phasers to drill through the crust and set up some plasma infusion units at the bottom. Pran seems a little skeptical of the two geologists and wants to go and double check their geological surveys, and Geordie goes along to help him. Before Data can leave the room, Juliana introduces herself as Dr. Soong's wife, and in some ways, she is Data's mother. In many ways. And that is the end of your teaser. There is Data's shocked face.
Thank you, Data.
As we get the da-da-da-da. But we do have question time, I hope.
Ooh, we do.
Hey.
I have too much text for chat. Let me cut up the questions.
Have everybody got their blood wines this evening? If you're having some blood wine, let me know in chat. What have you got this evening? Whether it be Coke, orange juice, or, like me, plasma blood wine. Hence Chardonnay variety.
All right. So, question is, ferroplasmic infusion suggests the use of which type of metal? A, aluminum, B, zinc, C, iron, or D, gold? And our bonus question is this is one of those Irish names. Fionnuala Flanagan graduated from the Abbey Theatre School of Acting, but which other Star Trek actor was one of the last to graduate from that school? Already? Okay, I want to let you guys know Sean wrote these, so the pain, send your hate. Your hate mail. So
these are very.
oh my god!
This is very Shawnee, isn't it? Which type
it bites
of metal?
Already?
Okay. Ferroplasmic infusion suggests which type of metal? Aluminium, zinc, iron, or gold?
I love this question because it has to do with chemistry, and I'm farming. So a lot of the elements that are needed in my soil, the minerals that are needed, are usually presented in Norwegian as the chemical titles.
Right.
Because they don't have like the Norwegian word, so they just adopt the periodic table's reference to it and give it a Scandinavian language twist. So, yeah.
Well,
but I don't get the answer.
No. It's a shame. I feel for you, Tavi. I really do. I will say just a quick bit of trivia. And the second part of that question mentions Fionnuala Flanagan. This is the second character she's played in Star Trek, actually. With the first being in, it seems weird to say this now, but the first character she played being in Deep Space Nine, season 1 in the episode Dax, where she played Enina Tandro in Dax.
Yeah.
But it's weird to think that she played an earlier character in Deep Space Nine before being in TNG. It's you expect it to be the other way around, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
There you go. And then she appears again in Enterprise in as a Vulcan ambassador, Valar.
Yeah, very emotional one.
Yeah. I remember her from Lost.
The round ears too long.
If you've watched Lost, she was in Lost. She was the Irish chap's mum in Lost.
I never saw Lost. I never got into it. Mind you, I was working at the time. I was in the military, so I didn't get much time. You had your life dictated to you. When are you not active? Those are the shows you get to watch. So everyone else got to see these iconic shows. I got to see the commercials. And Lost was one of those big ones that I missed out on, and I really like Hiroyuki Sanada. He's on equivalent level with Data, with Brent Spiner, but I didn't get to see the show.
I gotta go with. I gotta put my answer in, haven't I? I haven't done.
Yeah. I'm looking in chat and I'm like, who all is here?
What was the second question? Oh yeah, I don't know how to spell his name, but I'm gonna. I don't know how to spell it. I apologize for the spelling. Yes. So, has everybody got their answers in? I think we've got. I think we've got a bunch of.
Checking now. We got Ruth. We got my hubbiness.
Oh, Time Lord is in Iraq.
What?
Time Lord was in Iraq when the first Kelvin movie came out. He got it on a ripped DVD from the local base, from a local on base. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you out there. Okay, well, I believe all the answers are in. Wait, I don't see yours. Where did you put yours?
Mine is, mine's there. It's just a couple.
There it is. I see it. All right. So the answer to the trivia is C, iron. So anything ferric or ferrous or whatever is the term for iron. And the bonus is Combe Meany. The Chief O'Brien was the last to do that. And that means, Monty.
Yeah.
I think it's only you.
Is it only me? Oh my gosh. And I got I got the first part wrong as well, because I thought, because you seem to know the answer, and I just thought, well, I'm pretty sure that in farming they have to put zinc into the soil to help the plants. So I kind of assumed that meant it was B.
Oh.
Damn it. So yes, it's just, oh no, that's not good at all, is it? So I got you on it as well as a +10. So
it's your only saving grace.
That is my only saving grace. But yeah, it's going to be a 3-way. I got a 33% chance of
getting burned,
being on minus scores because I didn't actually get a point for the first bit. Have you ever been into minus?
Slipping over the event horizon, you hope the black hole of Wookieess doesn't suck you in.
Well, he's a former Marine. I think. Oh, did we mention that before? Because Chris is a former Marine.
Oh
no!
Oh no! No! Go Wookiee!
Oh no!
Black hole sun, won't you come?
I've got minus. I got minus score. That's not a good start. That's not.
Oh man.
I don't think, has that ever happened? Have we ever had a minus score line? I don't know.
I think so. I think someone got a minus once upon a time.
Anyway, onwards and upwards. Right.
Ouch.
Well, Tired Time Lord, thank you for your service. That's
yes, thank you.
Data has no memory of Juliana, because she admits that they wiped his memory processes once they had finished refining his program. His first memories are from being activated by the Starfleet officers that found him. Juliana goes on to tell him about his childhood, or what she considers to be his childhood, considering he was built fully formed, as per se. He had problems with his motor skills and sensory inputs at first. Noonien kept tinkering with him to make him as human as possible, and then they deactivated him and programmed him with the logs and knowledge of the colonists. And they would have taken him with them when they escaped the crystalline entity, but unfortunately, there was only room for 2 in the escape pod.
Mm-hmm.
That's a likely story.
Yeah.
Data points out that there was no mention of them being married in the people's logs.
Oof.
But
He's
Juliana... Sorry?
He's looking so handsome. Look at that shot.
He is indeed. His hair is looking particularly silky this evening.
Yeah, and the gorgeous age lines. Look at that. That's a man.
That's a man, that is. Data points out that there's no mention of them being married in the logs, but Juliana tells him that her mother didn't approve, so they got married on Mavala 4 in secret. Data tells her how he met Noonien once before his death, and the news of his death surprised Juliana. She did not know. She tells Data how their relationship didn't end on a good terms because Noonien cared more about his work than for her, so she ended up feeling quite lonely. But it was all a long time ago.
Irony.
Sorry?
The irony of that comment.
The irony. The irony. But it was all the irony. But it was all a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. She doesn't want to get. She does want to get to know him now. Data's unsure though, and wants to corroborate her story before they take their relationship any further. Data works with Geordi in engineering. He tells Geordi how he is having trouble confirming Juliana's story. But eventually, he does find evidence that they did travel to Mavala, as she has stated, but still wonders why Soong didn't mention her. It's probably because the writers hadn't thought of it. But Geordi asks why she would lie about such a thing and reminds Data that a part of being human is dealing with the unexpected, which is, is a good point.
I know you just went on from Geordi's photo there. I love the uniforms, and I like how slick they make it look, even when it has an elastic waist, because it's really hard to do that without like the little pleat showing. But it looks really sleek there. Like it gives a nice line from the waist up into the torso there. It looks really. I've always liked it. It makes these folks look good.
It's quite a good shot. You can see the Porsche in the in Shuttle Bay 1 quite well there.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Can't see any of the others because I think. Oh yeah, there's the duck. There's the duck at the top of a turbo shaft there. I don't know if you can just make that out. And
oh my goodness. One of our trivia a long time ago, I remember it. You were asking. I think there were 5 items.
Yeah, I think
in that photo.
That's a mouse there. That's a Porsche. I think that's a duck. And there's some other things on there, but yeah. Data does admit to wanting to want to know more about his past that he has no memory of. So Data goes and sees Juliana in 10 Forward and tells her he wants to get to know her better and calls her mother. And that's Juliana's happy face at being called Mommy. And that's the end of Act 1. So it's question time.
It's question.
What?
It's question time. Let me go ahead and get that in there. And the second half, your bonus question is coming right up. Coming right up. See, I needed Sean here for this because he would have done these Irish sounding names justice. But since he's not, I get to butcher it. I apologize to the land of Ireland. What was Juliana's maiden name? O'Dower, O'Donnell, O'Dowd, O'Sullivan. Oh. And the bonus is, in what piece of technology did Geordi and Data surmise there might be memories of Juliana?
Might be memories of Juliana. Good luck with that. I don't actually have much trivia for this act or this episode really. There wasn't a heck of a lot about it.
No.
No. Picard only gets 4 minutes of screen time in this episode. It's very Picard light. Which is,
and he has a deep, raspy voice when he's in it.
He does. Make it, sir. Yeah. Maz has been putting trivia and things in chat. Have you? Oh, let's have a look. No. What did she said? what
yes, you have a look. I'm trying to keep up with chat, bingo, and the question and scores. So I'm looking a bit like, just back and forth. Shifty eyes.
Yeah. Fiona Lula is only 7.5 years older than Brent. So she would have been 7.5 if they had been born naturally. When she's actually looks really good. She's got a very attractive face, I think.
Yeah, I'm always looking at it. She is a very beautiful woman, and she ages so gracefully.
Yeah.
And I've seen her in a lot of other. She's still acting now.
Yeah.
And she's just got this gorgeous snow white hair, and her face is practically the same. Yeah. Ugh. To have a hair full of white hair, I wish.
She's got this thing about her, like when she was in Lost, where she plays like she's got like a wholesome side, but then she's also got like a sort of, a sort of ruthless side to her as well. She can turn on like bad guy ruthlessness, and also play wholesome at the same time. It's very good. She's a good actress.
Oh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shall we have answers to the question? Oh, I haven't answered, have I? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm going to go with I don't know.
What?
B. I'm going to go
Did
B
you
again.
Watch the episode?
I don't know. What was the second one? What piece of technology did Geordie and Data surmise there might be memories of Juliana?
Maz. Okay, I was going to ask if Maz had answered. Okay, we got Ruth answering.
I no idea. I'm going to go with some gibberish. Memory engrams. I don't even know if that's a thing. I have no idea. There we go. We gave it a stab.
Alrighty. Let me get a scoring in. So the answer was, what is her maiden name?
Yeah.
It is B. O'Donnell.
Oh. I actually got one. That was a guess.
And the answer to the bonus is his emotion chip. So everyone who answered the emotion chip is
well done. Ruth got that. Maz got that.
Maz got it.
So let's add you to the wheel then.
Yeah, so Mazza, Ruth, you take Marky away.
There we go. Let's let's spin the wheel. Do 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 do.
Oh,
My word! And it's Tavi, which means Ruth and Maz get the points.
question to Ruth and Maza.
Double points. Double trouble for me.
Oh, that could have saved you getting on that bonus.
Could have done. Yeah. Yeah, we need someone to put a dad joke into live chat for me to read out, and then we can tick that one off the.
Now you guys know I need those dad jokes.
See if someone can get a dad joke into chat. That'd be useful. So Act 2. Juliana and Data walk the corridors, and she tells him how she wanted to make him a girl. But Noonien came in with his head, and of course it looked exactly like himself, like all the others. And how could she say no? Is he? No, Noonien. You created 3 robots with his head. Let's try something different.
How narcissistic is that, huh?
Yeah. She gets, but then again, if he'd done that, we wouldn't have had Data, would we? And, Tavi would have been sad.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been too into the show.
She gets completely the wrong idea when they stop off at Troy's quarters. She's glad that his sexuality program works. Data tries to say that actually he's just going for therapy, but it doesn't come across.
Reading into that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I guess, wouldn't that be kind of weird to have your mom talking to you about your sexuality program?
I would find that kind of strange.
And it's different, because like most of us, if your mom's talking about it, you're just a little baby, and oh, she's got a little baby butt, you got all the cute photos, and you're just so adorable. But this is like, no, I know your grown man stats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a bit weird to me. But then again, she's going, just Diana Troy. Woo! She's gonna be getting a hammering. We got some dad jokes in chat.
Okay. So. How many Vulcans does it take to replace a light bulb? 2. 1 to replace the light bulb, and 1 to ask what's so funny.
What?
I don't. Well, it's a joke, isn't it? And they don't get humor. A bit like Data.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have pressed that button. They're probably. Yeah.
I get it though. Only in the aftermath. This one took too long for me to think.
Where do Klingons moor their ships? On the wharf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got another one.
What is Riker's dating strategy? If at first you don't succeed, Troy and Troy again.
Oh my.
There we go. Tired. They were truly awful. Which is the idea. So
I like the second one.
That
the second one was
succeeded.
really good.
Yeah. Plus, I can't deliver a joke to save my life, as my script proves every week. So yeah, it's yeah. So yes, she's really happy with his sexuality program. And that was that. Later in engineering, they're preparing the drilling attempt. Geordi has tuned the phasers to its narrowest beam, and Data thanks him. And this pleases Juliana because she worked on his social programming. Originally, apparently, he was downright rude. She tells Geordi how they struggled to get him to wear clothes, as he didn't see the point, because his body's unaffected by the elements. But the colonists didn't like having an anatomically correct android wandering about naked. So they had to resort to writing a modesty subroutine. I know. Tavikins is thinking, that damn subroutine.
Yep. Ruined it for everybody.
Just ruined it. Yeah.
So I was definitely with the crowd of people going, no, he's an android. This is how he wants to express himself. Whew, I really appreciate the stats on this gentleman.
Wookiees. Oh dear. Very funny.
Wookie, no.
No, bad Wookie. Bad Wookie. On the bridge, Riker informs them they have entered geostationary orbit and are ready to go mining. Pran is worried that no one has double-checked Data's figures because, you know, he's only a machine. But Riker has full confidence in his second officer's abilities to check up on himself and gives the go-ahead. There's a couple of things with this, I thought. One, surely, like, he's a machine. So, I mean, if you had a complicated calculation to make, would you trust a calculator or a person? I would trust a calculator. People are notoriously bad at math. See, I said it the American way there because of all Americans on the chat today. So,
I mean, and if he knows about Juliana's history and what happened there, I can see why he would be skeptical. But I feel like that was a dumb question to ask.
Yeah. Oh, tired. Thanks for putting that picture in my mind. That's yeah. Also, the second thing was actually you wouldn't expect your officers to check up on themselves, would you? I mean, Riker says he has full confidence in Data's ability to check up on himself, but if you were making really important calculations, you would probably get it peer reviewed, or even if it was Data. So on one hand, I think he's quite correct that he's literally a walking calculator, but on the other hand, that's not very good management, is it?
And at the same time, he's working with the chief engineer, so technically it's already been looked over. So it's like, what's your issue? I think it's just because he has like backstory knowledge about Data's, other relation.
Yeah. Yes. I suppose, yes, Data is more than a calculator, yes. He's definitely more than a scientific calculator as well. He's got even more buttons to be pushed. Okay, so they fire the phasers, they break through the crust, and it all works perfectly thanks to Data and his calculations. As they have some time now before the plasma cools.
Can you go back to that photo?
Yep.
Come on, look at that.
It's good, isn't it? I put that in. I like that shot.
It's almost like you can touch, like you can act that. It looks real there.
Which
do you think it looked like that when it was on TV, or is it like the remaster that cleaned it up?
I think it would have looked like that. Not as sharp a detail, but it would have looked like that. Which model are we looking at?
I'm not sure.
I haven't asked the old which model are we looking at question for a while, but here you go for people that remember in chat. Which model is this?
Ooh.
Is it the 4-foot model?
It makes it look so nice. So they did that lighting really well.
Yeah, your two choices are 4-foot model or 6-foot model. Let me know in chat which one do you think this is.
Anyone in chat too?
Yeah. One thing I like is the fact that they're actually firing the phaser from the phaser emitters rather than the phaser coming out from somewhere random on the ship.
From random, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, we've had two guesses of the 6-foot model. Unfortunately, you're both incorrect. It's the 4-foot model. It is the 4-foot model.
With that much detail.
Yeah, the 4-foot model's got a lot more detail in it than the original 6-foot model. because
Really?
they wanted to show more. The 6-foot model is completely smooth with the Aztec pattern just painted on, where with the 4-foot model they actually put the sort of Aztec ridges in it to give it a more textured finish. And with the 4-foot model being the newer one, it's got the actual 10 forward windows, which the 6-foot model, because they didn't envisage 10 forward when they originally created the model, the 6-foot model doesn't have 10 forward on it. So this is the 4-foot model. So just completely geeking out over model variants.
It is nice.
What I quite like is if anybody watches Red Letter Media, they now have a screen-used Enterprise D model on their studio wall. It's one of the models that they blew up in yesterday's Enterprise. It's cause and effect. So yes, one of those shots where it goes off and you're looking at the back of it and it blows up in space. They've got that model, that blown up starship on their wall. It's really cool. Anyway, there we go. So, as they got some time now for the plasma to cool, Juliana wants to go see Data's quarters. So, Data agrees to take her. We later see Data playing the violin in his quarters. He's about to do a recital of Handel. We see him deftly playing the violin, and it's obvious in this shot that they did this in the same way Picard played the flute the other day, with someone behind him with their arms like under his arms. This is not his hands.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
They did a good job picking, because that person has hairy arms just as hairy as Brent Spiner's.
Yeah. It's not good from this shot, from this picture, but if you go and watch it and imagine him not playing it, it's you can kind of see it, but yeah, it's not obvious from that picture.
I did not notice.
Juliana loves Data's playing, though, and he's skeptical because he's observed that parents tend to exaggerate their children's accomplishments. But it turns out that Juliana is she's kind of self-congratulating herself, because she is the one that programmed his creative programming. Noonien didn't think it was important. So she's like, well done for being so creative. You know, she's kind of like...
Yeah. I guess her and Noonien Soong were a good match then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, as I was saying, they did that in the concert too. They used other people's arms to do the playing.
I did think that the violin work was and the viola work was much better. Although it didn't look like they were actually playing the song that they were playing. But at least the bow wasn't all over the place, and they were putting their hands on the correct spot. Like his wrist is in correct position. I play violin and viola. This is why I've been looking at this a lot. So this episode, I'm like, oh, that looks nice. It doesn't look so jacked up. But the other people's arms.
The violin is an interesting instrument, because when someone's learning to play the piano or the guitar, they can strum out a simple song or play a simple song on the piano, and it sounds fine. It's not like, orchestra level, but it sounds fine. But when you're learning to play the violin, until you get to a certain stage, it just basically sounds like someone strangling a bag of cats. It just sounds awful. It melts your ears.
When I was a kid, anytime I had a disagreement with my parents, I would go to my room and practice my violin as loud as I possibly could. At least I'm studying.
Maz McBob plays the violin, and so through our teenage years, I had to go through the pain of her learning, and you know, she's excellent. She's brilliant at it now, but yeah, it was a painful teenage life, to be honest. I'm just joking, Maz. I'm just joking with you. So yes. So whilst Noonien didn't think his creative programming wasn't important for Data, though, he feels through his artistic endeavours that he feels the most human. So he is glad that she insisted on including it. Juliana wants to join him in the recital, so Data replicates a viola for her to practice with, and as he's doing that, she looks through his paintings and comes across a painting of Lal. Data explains what happened with his daughter, you know, that he created her, but she didn't last long because he hadn't perfected the neural net, and she's sad about it. I think because I assumed that she realised that she had a granddaughter that she didn't know about and never met. And she seemed quite shocked by it. Later, they were practising the handle in 10 forward, as the acoustics are most favourable, according to Data. I just imagine with them practising in 10 forward here, and the rest of the crew are all kind of queued up at the door of 10 forward waiting for a drink, you know, as the next rotation comes out. And it's like, oh God, we got to wait for Data practicing his violin again. All right.
Oh.
It's just it's a long queue.
Oh my goodness.
What is Wookie talking about in chat?
I don't know, but it's got me all creeped out.
Has live chat gone sideways again? Is it?
It's like off-putting. I'm like, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about fiddling. Oh dear. Oh dear. Dear me. Yeah. So they were practicing, and it turns out that Noonien had created 3 other androids before Lore. So losing an android is very upsetting to Juliana. She was initially against Noonien creating Data because of what happened with Lore, but she knows now that her objections were wrong, that he did a good thing. Jinshi has followed his career with great pride. Data wonders why she hadn't got in contact with him before, and she tells him because it's because of her great guilt. But what has she got to be guilty about? It turns out that she lied, that there was no room in the escape pod. There was. But she left him behind on purpose, because she was afraid that when they turned him back on, he would turn into Lore. So she just thought it might be a good idea to never turn him back on again.
I mean, in all honesty, they're escaping the planet that's being completely obliterated.
Yeah. Which just leaves him behind.
I'm always wondering, like, maybe she knew the crystalline entity was summoned by Lore, because she seems to be a bit more traumatized than Soong was, because he's just like, oh, Lore, you know, whatever, you know, whatever. So I'm wondering if Lore was pulling that, you know, smiling innocently for Daddy, but the second like Soong would leave, he'd go straight psycho and look at his mom and know that he was doing all these evil things and there was nothing she could do to prove it, and just messing her head up.
You can imagine how Lore was during that, because he's like, you know, plays very innocent, doesn't he, when he's doing devious things. So anyway, that's Data's shocked face at these revelations, and that was the end of Act 2. So we have question time. It's quite a long act, that one.
One moment.
It was a long one. That's what she said. Anywho, continuing with the review. What did Juliana say about Data? That was perfect. Ah. Tabby? Tabbykins?
Hello. I'm sorry I got so chopped up. I'm trying to copy it all in, but
It's a bit long for you, isn't it? It's
yeah.
too much text.
So
Yes.
all right. Here we go. What did Juliana say to Data that was perfect? A, his cat. B, his nose. C, his violin playing. D, his figures. E, his fully functional fun time data.
Oh no, Shaunus.
And then the bonus is who is depicted in a painting that Juliana asks about.
Yes. I think I might get some points on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Have I got any more data? I haven't got any more. I haven't got any more trivia. It's really quite annoying. I've already talked about the model of the Enterprise in it. This is Brent Spiner's final appearance as Dr. Noonien Soong. The Orig.
You can also go back to the photo. I mean, look at that shot there. You get this great worm's eye view of that schnoz of his. Look at the angle of that nostril. And then again, the Cupid bow on the top of his lip. I love it. Love it. That's what you were hoping to fill the silence with.
Is exactly that.
Yes. So we got answers from the beard. He said my answer to the next question before the question had even been typed in. So I'm guessing he had to run off.
Well done.
See.
That's pretty damn impressive. He's. I'll have to feature him on the Monty Zone as being sort of clairvoyant or.
Yeah. Has everyone Stu? I don't see him. Stu.
Stupler, throw us your answer. And whilst you're at it, if anybody wants to hit the like button, feel free to pop in, tickle the like button. Every little bit helps and all that.
Monty, are you misspelling your bonus?
Am I? Oh, it's supposed to be Lal, not Hal. I'm just misspelling all my bonuses this evening. Yeah. Yes, Tired Time Lord. You should jump on. You should come and co-host, Tired.
Yeah.
I think we've said that before, but the invite is always there, sir. If you have a fancy coming on and joining us in a chat.
Yeah.
It's always more the merrier. Or Ruth.
You've got a uniform.
He's got the uniforms, isn't he?
Yeah, he might be able to get all snazzy.
Yeah, just going to. There is the link. It has a fully functional streaming setup.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think has everyone put in their answers? I think everyone has. The answer is C, his violin playing. And yes, his daughter, Lal, is...
Lal, not Hal, not the computer from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, then she would definitely have cause for worrying.
That's right.
I'd be like, oh man, we had Lord, now we got Hal.
Now we got Hal, yeah. Hello, Dave. Well, I dream, Dave. Yeah. So we got everybody on the lal, howl, lal. Yeah, I think that's
I think it's everybody.
that's everyone, isn't it? Monty,
Weird.
Time Lord,
Unfortunately, not
Maz,
weird.
Stu. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone.
I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
And Tammy. Come on, make more, make more. Don't spit it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Gives us suspense because if it's really big, we can almost see it coming. But when there's so many, it's like, oh, who's it gonna actually touch? All right, that's good.
Right. That's a good number. Is that a good number?
I think it's a good number.
Spin the wheel.
Spin it.
Doop, 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 doop. Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's not my night, is it?
Oh,
it's not my
God.
No, my God, I'm in there.
Hey!
Hey!
Hooray! Time
He
Lord.
is dealing damage. That's a negative 10 hit points to everybody. Oh my gosh.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes. Let us know in live chat if you can hear Tide Time Lord okay and the levels are correct. If anybody wants to let us know, that'd be super cool. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. I was just working on some new skit stuff and a new video on the Katinga class battle cruiser and hanging out with y'all in the chat. I'm only available like every other week because I don't have my kid today, but you know, every other week I'll be available if you need somebody to hop in.
Take a copy of the well, yeah, you should have a save it to favorites or something, and you can just pop in whenever you want.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we always use the
that
same
now.
studio, so it's always the same link. So yes, as long as you got it, yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. It's quite funny hearing your normal voice is strange after because you've got this sort of the presenting voice you've got in the videos. it's different to your sort of natural voice. I'm just like readjusting it in my brain. But
I've never been part of a live stream like this, really, so this is very new to me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I'm not hiding behind the chat screen now.
Yeah.
no, that's
You will
right.
be held accountable for everything you say.
I know, right?
Recorded live.
It's all good here. Yeah, I see you're coming to us live from the original Enterprise.
I figured it fit with the uniform. I've only got the one uniform right now, but
Yeah.
I'm working on some Klingon uniforms. I think I sent Tav and Mazza, and I think I sent you also a picture of I'm working on a TNG Klingon uniform, but it's all duct tape and cardboard.
You said that to me on Facebook. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I'm just doing that live on just ignore me here.
Yeah. Oh, we love costume changes, as you have come to see with Sean.
Do you mind if I share that picture? Can I bring that
Oh
up?
yeah, go ahead. By all
Right.
means. I'm an open book these days.
All right, hang on a minute. Bear with me, everyone. There we go. So this is sort of like in its embryonic form stage.
Yeah, so there's three components that I really need to nail down. It's the under armor, which is what you see here, the over shoulder pauldrons, which is going to be a separate piece that'll go over the shoulders, and then a belt buckle, and then the rest I'm just going to reuse from my original series Klingon outfit, which it itself is just a t-shirt that I cut up and then tied back together, which my dog is looking at me like, you just cut that up. Why are you reattaching it to itself?
Oh, you have an
Cool.
audience to
It's
please.
very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Oh, what's your dog's name? We've got a Chewy. What's yours?
Oh, Annabelle. Annabelle Rose.
Oh,
That's a very fancy name for a
You want to
dog.
come here? Annabelle, you want to come here? You want to be on TV or screen? Come on up. Come up. I'm on a couch right now. I do a lot from my couch. This is my pup. Hold on, maybe it'll pick up. Oh, she kicked my stuff. Hold on. Let me see. How do you change the background?
I have no idea. I just use my room, so and I don't do anything
She is
fancy
grabbing
like
onto my mouse now. She's like,
yeah, you gotta go in
brought
there.
me
You gotta
up
go in your
here.
settings, and if you have a virtual background,
I
you
see
can
it.
do all that stuff there.
So
Oh,
Yes.
gorgeous.
that's Annabelle. She's an Alaskan Malamute. She is a very
beautiful.
pretty puppo. She's a sweetheart. She doesn't have a mean bone in her body.
Oh,
Big lap dog.
Oh,
beautiful.
Miss Annabelle. Okay, I'm going to stop petting you and focus on this now.
Oh,
What have I
she
done?
likes the attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, don't lick my hands.
Smile, I think she looks like an Annabelle. Yeah, certainly does. Anyway, I can see how the uniform's coming along. So you got the shoulder bits with the slats going across that way, isn't it? That's the next thing.
So what this was is I cut up a cardboard box into thin strips, and then I took duct tape on each side of it to make a layered flap kind of thing, because that's how it kind of looks on the show. So, and then I just layered them as like shingles.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
I can see it now.
Very cool. We've had someone called Q join backstage, but they haven't got any devices turned on, so I can't actually add them to the show. Not that I know who it is, but yeah, Q is waiting backstage apparently.
Be very, very wary.
Very wary. I don't know who that is, but unless they add a camera, can't do anything about it.
I gave Sean a shut up, Sean, because he came in the chat talking about bullshit questions.
There we go.
Shut up, Sean.
Every time you guys have had Data on screen, I keep remembering the scene where he's stroking the new beard that he gives himself for one episode. He sits there, he says, "When I stroke it thusly, does it make me seem more intelligent?"
Yes. I can attest that doesn't work. It doesn't help. It doesn't make you look no.
He's a song, but he doesn't pull off the cool Asian super kung fu guy.
No. Right. What's the next act then? We're on Act 3. No, we're on Act 3. So the drilling continues on the surface, and they are nearing the magma pocket. And the ship starts to get rocked because the beam is being picking up a feedback pulse from the rocks below. Riker threatens to end the drilling, but Juliana matches the frequency of the drilling and solves the problem. They're all stunned that she managed to do it so quickly, but she says that she was just lucky. We believe you. They head down to the planet and start working on...
I'm on screen for a moment. Sorry.
Yes, that'll happen, yeah. To begin with, you start thinking, was I scratching my nose then? No, mustn't do that.
I was thinking more like, oh, I should say something, rather than just, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feel free to say pretty much anything you want.
This is why I usually do like short things, because I am not good in person. I'm giggly.
Oh yeah. Please, I hope it's not just me appreciating the camera work with this episode, because you have to move around a lot and build up what he's thinking about without giving away verbally what he's thinking about, but at least giving pause So I think it's really nice for the setups and foreshadowing that he's, constantly looking and making a point to do things. And Jesus, look at that lighting. Look at him. Whew.
He's looking fine.
He is looking right.
He's looking pretty fine for an AI.
I only met him the Brent Spiner the one time, and he was just fantastic to be around. He made it very. You could tell he enjoyed the limelight, but it was just he was just such a pleasure. He turned it on for the fans, I think, but he loved doing it, and there was nothing ingenuine about it. It felt like it was very genuine.
Oh, that's good. It's very good, or else he's a very good actor.
Everyone says the same thing. I've heard. People have met him at conventions, and the cruise. There's a cruise thing that he was on recently, and everyone says that whoever hasn't met him that he's a genuinely nice guy. Which is nice, isn't it?
Oof, I wish I could go on that cruise.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Oh God, I've been looking at those pictures too. I'm thinking about it. If like in a couple of years I could save up the money for it, I might.
But like in a couple of years, it seems like they're starting to drop now. Like Brent Spiner is 72, 73. So
I mean,
is he?
Picard's in his Patrick Stewart's like in his 90s, isn't he?
He's either in his mid to late 80s, I think now.
My God,
so
time's going on, isn't it?
I'm not appreciating this because I'm not understanding what happened.
Brent Spiner is 75
he was born 1940,
old.
So he's 84.
Yeah. Yeah, Brent Spiner was born in 1949. He's 75 years old. Time is just flying by, guys.
They made the birthday of Data, or his activation date, the same birthday as Brent Spiner, February 2nd.
Oh, that's cool.
So they head down to the planet and start working on the fusion units. And Data seems to be studying Juliana's face. That's what he's doing right there. Here's a picture of that face he's studying. But why? Why is he studying her face?
The perspiration.
That's what I was thinking. It looks like that, doesn't it?
You got a picture. Somebody's on stage with a little spray bottle. Okay, I'm going to spray you in the face.
Now blink 3 times. Yeah. Pran comes over to tell Data he must be angry about what Juliana had told him earlier in 10 Forward, but Data reminds him that he doesn't feel anger because he's an android. Do you think he eventually feels anger when everyone asks him about his emotions and he's got to keep saying, no, I don't feel that emotion because I'm an android? Do you think in the end he's like, for God's sake, I told you.
I brought this up.
This is why we keep having problems in space. You guys can't accept simple concepts.
Yeah.
I'm an android.
While I was still in the chat, I brought this up. Data tried for years. He just wants to be human. That's his goal. That's his life path. Here comes the EMH. I was programmed how to have feelings and be snazzy. Like in terms of artificial life forms, he's already outdated.
Yes. Yeah. That must hurt. Yep. Juliana tells Pran it's all right. She is sure Data understands her reasoning, but Data does not understand. He doesn't understand at all. If he had been her biological offspring, would she have left him behind? No, she would not. So Data reasons that she must place more value on biological life than artificial life like his own. But she says that's not the case. She clarifies that she couldn't go through with dismantling him like Lore. That would have broken her heart. So she did the only thing she can. She hopes it's now clear, and Data confirms it is, for some reason. Later at the recital, Data and Juliana are flawless in their recital of Handel. Though during the recital, Data eyes his mother suspiciously. There's something about her performance he doesn't like. Not for the crowd, though. They get a standing ovation, which is probably the first time Data's had a standing ovation from one of his recitals, one of his concerts. After the recital, Data heads straight to sickbay and asks Dr. Crusher to go over Juliana's medical records. She's reluctant, but does it anyway. Bad doctor. She doesn't see anything except a mild case of hypertension and wants to know why Data is asking. Data tells her that he believes she is not who she claims to be. And then Data gets called to the transporter room because there's been a cave-in on the planet below. That is the end of Act 3. So guess what time it is?
It's quite. Yep.
It's question time.
Okay. I had a comment about the props that I thought was a bit strange when I was watching this. Being that I've played violin and viola, he says he's going to replicate a viola for Juliana, and he's like, replicator, one viola, and I'm like,
what type? Yeah.
They come in sizes.
Yeah.
3/4, full size. And he doesn't even mention. I'm guessing the standard would just be a full size viola. But for me, I'm thinking, you can't just say make viola.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we're getting to the point where we can just say make something and it'll default to something. Look at ChatGPT right now. We can type in like, hey, give us a story on XYZ, and it'll default to something. So if you just went up to it and, you got to think these computers, Majel Barrett's voice is a large language model. That's all the ship's computer really is it's a large language model like ChatGPT that's plugged into all the different resources in the computer. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
Okay. Well, I got the questions pasted in. Let me get to that real quick. How many button presses does it take to bring up Juliana's transporter record?
Sean.
Who was watching that? I guess Sean was.
Bonus. In Generations, what event confuses Data as he is happy but starts to cry? Sean's doing this because he's not being held accountable. He's not live. And
he's not here for us to berate him. And he's just dropped and ran, isn't he? And one question about something so minuscule that nobody's going to know. And the other question about an episode we haven't seen yet. Genius. Well done, Sean.
No, it's a movie.
Yeah. So, Mazma Bob put in chat that he came straight from the concert because he's still holding his violin. He hasn't gone back to his quarters or anything like that. He's come rushed straight here. But everybody else is changed their clothes. So they managed to do that quickly whilst in the middle of an emergency in no time at all. So I guess that's a kind of mild goof. Well done, Maz, for spotting that one.
Actually, I don't know if Time Lord, you guys had to do this. When I was a cadet in ROTC, we were able to earn different like shortcuts in our dorm life by like readiness performance. And one of the ones was changing from Battle Jet uniform into our regular blues and back and forth within 5 minutes. So we come outside of our rooms and everyone's in, full battle dress uniform. And he's like, they start the clock and they're like 5 minutes. You go inside and everyone's just going hog wild in their room trying to change into their blues. And, they come out and then we're all there again. And mind you, that's like the guys had ties that needed to be tied. It was not clip-ons or anything like that. You weren't allowed to have that. So they were in there like trying to make sure everything was cricket. I'm trying to fix my tie tab. And it was just, and there's four cadets to a room for this training. So it's feasible,
child.
like in this scene, that they could go from concert, there's an emergency, 5 minutes, go change into your clothes. This is like just a shirt and a top and get to work.
Sorry, not to interrupt. I was enlisted, so I had a vastly different experience. We didn't have a motivation like, you get a prize if you do this right. We had a motivation that you don't feel pain if you do this right. In boot camp, they would have us get, you'd wake up, you'd get online. This is United States Marine Corps boot camp if for enlisted. You get online, there's a drill instructor in your face. You have 60 seconds to get dressed, and so help you if you don't have everything on. That's too bad. I got picked up and thrown into a rack. Like, this man picked me up over his head and threw me. My back hit the rack and I fell down, and he said, "Now get outside and finish tying your boots."
Oh my God.
That reminds me of Orion when in Enterprise, where that iconic line comes in. He's like, "You are property of the Orion Syndicate. Follow the." He's like, "Break the rules and you will suffer. Follow them and you will suffer less." Like,
the
change your uniform.
And morale improves.
So I was like, what?
Brilliant.
I have a lot of Marine Corps stories, and I joined the military because of Star Trek. Like, it was 100% a matter of, I love Star Trek. That's the military, but I joined the wrong branch, and I went with the wrong style. If I wanted to be Star Trek, I should have gone naval officer. That's how you get a
officer.
ship.
Yeah.
I was Marine Corps enlisted. I was basically a Mako. Like, if I have to look at Star Trek and see what, my branch would have turned into, I would have been like, we got inducted into the Makos,
Yeah. Wow.
So you were U.S. military.
Yes.
Oh, I keep thinking you're British.
No,
did you not?
Because the one time you guys heard me, the one time you guys heard my voice was that snow-a-tree that I did in my backyard.
Yeah,
and I was trying to. I just watched a lot of British actors doing this, so it kind of painted my performance. And I don't have an accent. I'm an American with I'm mayo on white bread.
All right. I was confused when I looked at the photo of when you sent the photo of you in uniform. I'm like, does the UK have the same battle dress uniform?
No. I was,
or at least I was like, it's not too much. I was expecting to see something fancy and cool and UK-ish, and I'm like, oh, that just looks like ours.
And you're the East Coast. You're the East Coast as well, aren't you?
I mean, I did have, Marine Corps, we have a good uniform for, dress occasions. I still have my dress uniform. I'll send you a photo right quick. Hold on.
While we're doing that, I'm going to check to see, has everybody answered?
I think so. And I was going to just mention in a little bit of trivia Maz put in back along that Fionola is actually a violinist. So she didn't have to... She didn't have to fake her violin playing as much because, she was a violinist. Not sure if I said that at the time.
Nice. Then why is she playing the viola? I know it's not too different in size.
Viola with the viola.
Yes.
I saw what you did there. Okay, I'm just trying to write down everyone that's got it right. And... I think everyone has answered. So the question, I got to read this again because it's just asinine, Sean, if you're there and you're looking back on this. How many button presses does it take to bring up Juliana's transporter records?
How many was it?
The answer was A.
Oh.
4. So
Ruth
Mazza and
got it
Ruth
right,
got it.
and
I
Maz
don't know
got
if
it
they
right.
guessed or what.
That has to be a guess, surely, I would have thought.
I was guessing.
It's gotta be.
I was guessing.
The bonus, his emotional confusion was because he found Spot, but he was crying. So people on the board is Tire Time Lord, Mazza, Ruth, Monty, and Stu. So everybody.
Everybody. That is everybody. Once again.
And
Excellent.
hopefully Wookiee does not. If Wookiee gets this again, I don't know. I'll probably laugh, but
Spinning the wheel. Do dip 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 do dip do dip 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 do dip do. Now nobody moan. It's me.
Yay!
I got some points back from my disappointing starts.
Well, I mean, it doesn't cancel because you've got -20 and everyone else is just -2, so that's 1.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of them back. That's yes. So there we go. Oh, I don't need Facebook, do I? No, go away, Facebook.
Can I? Do you know how to share something?
Like
that. There you go. Yeah, that's me. I'm the one on the far right with the big neck.
Oh.
Wait, left, right, yeah.
Had to do. I'm which one are you? Wow.
Yeah, that's my buddy Flater, who's the sergeant there, and then that was our lieutenant that's next to Flater, and then that was our colonel that's next to me. And this was the Marine Corps ball, I want to say 2010, I think.
Americans know how to do a uniform.
I'm too young to be as old as I am. All I can say is don't work a burn pit. Like that's really what it boils down to.
I'll definitely have to send my military photos. I was enlisted and also a cadet. So I went in enlisted, and then I got into the ROTC program. But then I didn't accept the commission. I hated the job they gave me.
Oh my.
And I had been enlisted in a job that shouldn't have been crappy. Some of it wasn't, but some of it was. And then I was like, I'm going to get out and become an officer, and then I'm going to be in charge.
Yeah, I know, right? I had that same thought.
No. But when you're a cadet, you have to compete for your job. Like, you don't just get to be a pilot. You don't just get to be the ops officer. It's based on, everyone who has the same major. Mm-hmm. And I worked super hard. I was the valedictorian of the East Northern quadrant of the United States. So I could get my pick of the jobs, and I didn't want to be a pilot. So I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to be a banker. And in wartime, I guess I'm the guy that got a suitcase full of money handcuffed to the wrist. So that wasn't so good. But hey, I wanted bank hours. I was tired of working 24. They signed me up as a scientist. They're like, no, we Uncle Sam'd you because you've got the highest score. And I decided to double major. I took physics and mathematics. Wow. And so they're like, no, we're gonna have you be a scientist. You're gonna discover a new way to fly, and we're shipping you to Langley Base. You haven't even graduated yet, but there you go. And I was like, F this.
See, I was the data dink. I worked on computer networks. My job was to keep our networks from being hacked, and to set up email for officers. I tell you, one of the funniest things I ever had to do was tell an officer why he can't look up certain X-rated things on deployed environments,
Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to the show.
Back to the show. Sorry, we
Chris
got
Smith,
off on
if you want to come join us, Chris, feel free to come to the studio, but you will need a mic or camera to be able to join. I can't put you into the studio if you don't have a camera or a mic. It won't let me. So yes, feel free to join us if you want. But if not, either way, welcome to the show. We're into Act 4 now. Pran has been injured in the cave collapse that happened on the surface, and Geordie reports that they have 12 hours before the pocket collapses entirely. So Data and Juliana beam down to the drill site to finish configuring the remaining infusion units. And so they can inject plasma immediately. At the plasma pocket, everything looks unstable and everything's rocking about. So Data and Juliana make their way to the infusion units. They find the units and they work as quick as they can. But the cave is being rocked about by some large earthquakes. They finish their calibrations and head back to the beam out site. But when they get there, they find that the pattern enhancers and the beam out site has dropped to a platform below, and they can no longer reach it unless they jump for it. Juliana doesn't believe she will make the fall.
We are not seeing your pictures.
Oh, balls. It's all gone onto the wrong tab, hasn't it?
Aww.
All right. How annoying. So this was them Pran being injured and them getting ready to beam down. This was the plasma pocket when they arrive with the pattern enhancers and they go off to look for the infusion units. This is them calibrating the infusion units. And this is them then getting back to the pattern enhancers and finding that it's dropped to the cavern below and they have to jump down. Maz loves Time Lord's giggles.
Yeah.
That's going to become a fan favorite. I just know it.
Is that going to be a bingo thing now? Like, you know, it's almost going to be a free spot if that's the case.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fix it so I'm not glitching out in the background here so much.
It's yes, getting your green screen settings.
Gotta get it tweaked. Yeah.
Chroma key settings right. Yes.
I don't want to give somebody a seizure. You know, all the little bits flashing in and out.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, they jump to the cavern below so they can beam out. Data lands on his feet, but unfortunately, Juliana does not, and her arm falls off.
I mean, that's just shoddy craftsmanship there.
It's pretty shoddy. She jumps down. Oh no, my arm's fallen off.
Old age in the future.
Yeah.
Now Picard has to deal with that also.
That's true. That is true.
No, he's a golem. I think he's more of a complete, like, amoebic, like, golem. It looked like a I don't know, a gooey sack.
A gooey sack. I just took it as an evolution of this.
Mostly water.
You know, it's just an evolution of the same technology. I view Juliana Tainer, you know, she's got the same, it's a mental transference. They did this back in the original series. They showed Kirk getting, you know, duplicated.
Yeah. It's not new.
So this technology has been around. It's just, you know, Soong was trying to make his android his style. You know, it's like a Ford versus a Toyota. And he wanted to make
every time they would lose the technology anyway, because TOS had it, like you said. Even in TNG, Graves, who taught Soong how to deal with cybernetics, he did it because he got into Data's body, how to scan that. But since he died before they could do it, it wasn't documented. But it's being done all the time, it seems. But no one writes the shit down.
No,
Yeah, exactly. How much, and that's something I've thought about in reality is how much like lost technology is there that we just haven't written down. Sorry, I do go off on tangents if you don't tell me to shut up. You might need to shut up.
We can do this. Shut up. You can use shut up, Sean.
I'll just reuse my.
Sean.
Yeah.
There you go.
I will say that
I don't get out much, so this is my interaction for the week.
Smiler and Stupum both give us a she's armless. Yeah. It's a bad pun. Right. Chris has joined us with a mic this time as Q, so let's give it a go. Hello, Q.
Wow. Hello. Does it work?
This works. Yes.
The voice of Q.
The voice of Q.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Q.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of guest appearances this episode.
Yeah. It's a crazy one.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not really a guest. I've only just found your channel, and then I saw the link, and I thought, oh, this must be something else they're doing, and I clicked it, and it took me here, and I was like, oh no, I think I'm intruding on something I shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's just Tired Time Lord here wanted to come and guest on the show, so we thought I'd put the link in the chat, and since you clicked it, I thought we'll say hello to you too. Are you a big Star Trek fan, TNG fan?
Oh yeah, Next Generation. Yeah, I grew up watching Next Generation. Let's see, can't remember how old I was. Probably I'm 40 now, so yeah, ever since it was out, really, because my mum loved it, and I got into it, and then fell in love with most of the characters. Only watched Deep Space Nine for a bit because O'Brien was in it, and I loved him, and Worf obviously then went into it.
Yeah.
Weren't really big on that, and then loved Voyager. I know a lot of people diss it, but I think it's good. And Q was in it as well, and Q was always my favourite character.
Finally, another Q lover. I'm always finding a lot of people who are either passively interested in Q or they can't stand him, but I like the character.
Oh, I love John Delancey's delivery, and I all the Q episodes. I'm just a big fan of them. You know what I noticed so I'm doing a chronological rewatch, like I've told you guys before in the chat, and I just finished Voyager, and the Q episodes in that, Q has a habit of putting himself in bed with Starfleet captains and having them wake up next to him. He did it to Picard. He did it to Janeway. He didn't do it to Cisco because Cisco punched him in the face.
Yeah, he also dumped his son with her as well.
Yep, he dumped his son on Janeway and was like, "Here,
teach him how to be normal."
Because
I failed. It's your turn.
Yeah. Love it. So which would you say was your favourite then of TNG or Voyager?
What, of the series?
Yeah.
TNG.
TNG.
Yeah. Voyager was good. Like I couldn't get into Deep Space Nine, although I did like I can never remember his name, but he was a really good character. The double agent Cardassian.
Oh, Garrick.
The guy run the shop, but he worked for both sides.
Plain and simple Garrick.
Yeah. Well, I loved him as a character. Odo was good. Couldn't really get into it though as a series, to be honest.
It's different. It's very different for a Star Trek show, but I think it does have some of the most interesting, as you say, like Garrick and Odo. It has some of the most interesting characters in Star Trek.
Very well developed.
I did like how they fleshed out O'Brien a lot more in it, because in TNG, I don't know, there's something about O'Brien. He's not kind of one of the biggest characters, but he's kind of one of the most lovable in my opinion.
I always loved his interactions with Bashir, the what do you want to call it? The broship that develops there between the two. The bromance, there it is, the bromance that they have. I always loved those interactions.
Yeah.
Well, I liked when he used to play darts with him.
Yeah.
in
They were
Port
like, they
Star.
ended up almost like a married couple.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
The
because
one
he's,
episode where Kiko plays them off of each other, like, oh, Miles is upset. He needs somebody to go talk to him. And then she goes to O'Brien and goes, oh, Julian's upset. He needs somebody to go talk to him. And they go talk to each other and they're like, we're friends again. She's like, yeah, I know.
Oh, back to the show.
Where were we at? Feel free to stay, Chris, Q. Yep, you're very welcome. Yeah, where were we at? Did we do the questions? Did we do that?
I think it's time.
Did we do the answers to the questions?
Time. It's question time.
Is it question time? Have we not done the questions?
It's her falling down the end of.
Oh, that's it. It was question time. Yes. I don't even know where I am in this show anymore. Confused.
Thrown you off.
Yeah.
All these guest stars and.
So what is the question
So
then?
the typical Q and derailed
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
Question time. What piece of equipment do they want to play with on the surface? What?
No.
Do they want to play?
I
Okay.
guess.
And bonus is, what pieces of equipment do they need to fix before they can beam out?
Ah. So yes, what pieces of equipment do they go to use, play with on the surface? A, infusion units. B, F-fusion unit. C, confusion unit. That's me. I'm confused this evening. Or D, diffusion unit. Mm-hmm. Secondly, what piece of equipment do they need to fix before they can beam out?
I think I'm gonna go with.
I'm going with that and that.
What number is that?
The answers.
D and pattern enhancers.
Yeah, the Q is in the picture for the second part of the question. Yeah.
So it's late there right now. It's like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock where you guys are, right?
It is 9:45. Yes. Oh, for us, Tavikins is in Norway. So it's even later for Tavi. It's an
international show. It's only 5 o'clock here. I'm on the East Coast U.S.
So we're spanning.
I'm from South Carolina. Where are you from?
Virginia originally, but I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
I grew up right outside of Quantico. Never knew it was there until I enlisted.
Yes, this is a truly international show. When Sean's on, we have Ireland as well. So we span Norway, Ireland, America, England. It's the beauty of YouTube, isn't it? Only in something like YouTube we can do this sort of thing. You know,
we're living in a truly golden age, as one could say.
Yes.
Until it's not, it's only good when we're. There's a lot of problems right now. What am I saying? Golden age. Sorry, disregard.
We're in our little bubble, Time Lord. We're in our little happy-go-lucky bubble. Happiness. Yes.
I'm quite impressed. American people can understand my English, seeing as I'm from South Yorkshire.
Yeah, we even span the whole of England then, because obviously I'm coming from Plymouth in the southwest in Devon, so you're coming from the north in Yorkshire. So yeah, all the English accents. Okay, shall we have the answers then, Tarikins?
Yes, one moment. I'm just having to keep score. So I'm writing down everyone who either got it right or wrong. So for the question, what piece of equipment do they want to play? Do they need to fix on the surface? And the answer to that was A, the infusion unit. And what piece of equipment do they need to fix before they can beam out? And they are the transporter enhancers or pattern enhancers. So either one of those is correct. And for the wheel, we've got Mazza, Monty, Time Lord, Ruth.
What was the equipment?
What was the equipment again?
What was the answer to A, Tavi, again?
It was A.
A.
Infusion unit.
I got it.
I guessed with D.
So who have we got on the wheel there? Sorry, Tavi.
On the wheel, we've got Mazza, Monty, Tire Time Lord, and Ruth. Where is Stu? Did Stu? Okay, there's Stu.
Give us one. No, he just went for the first one, I think. So we'll have to take him off. Okay, that's it then. That's everyone. And let's spin the wheel. Do 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 do. Oh, Wookie! Oh, squeaked it in there, Ruth. Ruth. Has Maz convinced you to come on the stream as well, Ruth? Are you going to come and join us and make it a party?
Admiral Ruth.
Admiral Ruth. There we go. We are into the final act. So you need to be joining us for the final act. Act 5. Starts off.
I broke my mom.
Yeah, brained her. In sickbay, the Doc and Geordie marvel over her complexity. She is a Soong-based android, much like Data, but is designed purely to trick you into thinking that she's human. She has human-like tear ducts and a masking field that projects human life signs. Geordie mentions her self-adjusted aging, just like Data. I'm not sure, but is this the first time that they mention that Data has a self-adjusting aging subroutine for making him look older? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, but I think it might be the first time that they mention that.
I'm thinking so too. I'm trying to remember. I think that is. It might be the first time. For some reason, I feel like it was brought up before, but I can't point to it.
I'm sure Mazza McBob will know in live chat if she's a Spider Rainbow thinks she's a Mazza McBob's train's coming in. Yes, it is, Monty. Thank you, Maz. Yes, it's the first time that they mention he has an aging subroutine. So Data clarifies that he already knew she was an android. He firstly spotted how quickly she could calculate things, and then noticed her blinking is governed by the Fourier system, which is the same as his own, for giving him random blinking. And lastly, at the concert in 10-4, she played the piece exactly as she had practiced. Every inflection, nuance, completely precisely as she practiced that no other human could do. Then Geordie finds a doodad in her brain box, and it has a holographic interface. So he plugs it into the holodeck.
Sorry. I was just thinking, if Soong made a hologram, then he knew that holograms were going to replace Data in them. So it makes my theory from before even worse, that he knew the holograms were going to take over. So it's like flaunting holograms in front of him.
Yeah. His hologram even seems more human than Data does.
Exactly. That's my...
Yes, I
what I do like about this is I'm always doing these deep dives into some of the different aspects of TOS and whatnot. And when Picard finished off, I was a bit annoyed, but also I guess I kind of like the Easter egg of the new Data android. It was called N510 something or whatever, silly. And M5 is from, TOS, and that's Daystrom's creation, where he created a system that could pilot a starship. And it was a multitronic system. And he ended up having this breakdown because no one gave him any credit. And all these people after him were getting famous using all of his tech. And then, of course, Soong comes along and he's got a positronic. So I was like, you just took his shit and just kind of tweaked it a bit and you're trying to make something else. And then later on in Apocrypha, when Daystrom gets out of mental recuperation, he actually creates the holograms, the holographic systems. So holograms in TNG are supposedly from Daystrom.
Oh my.
And then you got it here where the Soongs end up using that. And then again, you see it in Picard where they're using N5. And I'm always wondering if this kind of reflects on what Daystrom was saying when he broke down. He's like, I'm tired of these other people getting famous off of my work. And then you see Soong blatantly, my Android is called M5 something. It's the system that's protecting the Daystrom Institute. We just kind of took that tech and, I don't know, just pasted over that. So,
just change
of course,
the label.
Holographic stuff. So I'm like, maybe that poor guy had some valid arguments.
Good evening to Andy Steeth in live chat. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for popping by and saying hello. A friend of the channel, but I know he's not a big Star Trek fan, so it's thank you for popping by. Mazma Bob points out a slight logic error with this hologram. He mentions how she left him and whatnot. In a minute we'll get to that bit, but of course he would have implanted this in her head, in her brain at the point of her creation before the android version of her actually left him. So how did he do that? Or unless he deactivated her at some point and then put this in her without her knowing. I don't know, but it's kind of a chicken and egg situation. Just a quick pop quiz for anybody that remember it. We obviously get Brent Spiner talking to himself here, but from this shot here, is that Brent Spiner and Brent Spiner, or is that Brent Spiner and a Data double?
I would say it's Brent Spiner and Brent Spiner from
like
the
Brent.
back, but I could be horribly wrong.
I'm judging by the CGI.
That looks like
I
his
think
shoulder
it's a
span to
double.
me. But
The
you know what?
snaps should know better.
The hair at the end actually throws it off because it looks smooth, but I don't remember it being so full at the bottom. But anyway.
So Chris is
I'm trying to remember if we see him walk in. Like, I need to see it in motion, maybe.
Chris?
I think it's him. I think they just stop him and they paste it over.
What were you going with, Chris?
I think it's a double due to the CGI limitations at the time. I think that's someone else. I think it was too much. We're talking about the 90s, so...
Because it's quite clever, because he walks around the front of him and then walks around the back of him. So it is cleverly done from that point of view.
I'm going to say it's Brent.
But I was wondering whether Tavikins, being the complete lore and data expert, whether she... So let's just see this a little bit further on along the shot. It is Data as he walks around. He turns around and Tavikins, your radar proven once again accurate.
My man.
Yeah.
A Daydar?
A day.
My Daydar.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, we did say early in the episode, his hair is particularly silky in this one. And even from the side here, his hair is usually not that smooth. And like the volume at the bottom, that's usually not like that. He usually has this like duck in around his ear line and then it fluffs out again at the bottom.
Maybe they were trying to contrast
too much.
it a
I
little bit.
accept that.
Like maybe if they made him more, Data-esque in the back, it would contrast with the fluffiness of Soong,
So, yes, the hologram of Soong, Noonien Soong, appears and answers any questions he might have about the Juliana android. And when Data introduces himself, it turns out that Noonien has programmed this hologram to respond in a particular way for Data himself. Dr. Soong explains that Juliana was severely injured in the crystalline entity incident, and by the time they got onto Juliana 3, she had fallen into a coma. Once he knew she would never come out of it, he built the android to and strove to perfect the synaptic scanning techniques to encode a person's memories into the positronic matrix. And he was successful. He wasn't sure if it worked, but a few days after the real Juliana Soong died, he activated the android, and complete with the experiences and memories. Initially, he looks elated at his success, but then his face soon falls because he tells Data that they were initially happy, but then Dr. Soong's failure to adequately express his love for Juliana prompted her to leave him. Something he notes that the original would have eventually done as well. He designed her to shut down if the truth ever be discovered, so tells Data to just put the chip back in her brain box and make up some excuse, and she will remember nothing. Data asks why he didn't just tell her what she was. Noonien says he wanted her to be happy, and in every way that mattered, she was, in fact, Juliana Soong. She didn't need to know. In the end, he pleads with Data not to take her humanity away from her. So that echoes the point that Troy's about to make, because he meets with the Doc, Troy, and Picard in the observation lounge and outlines his dilemma to them. The Doc thinks that she should... Chief Sean. Chief Sean is in the house. Adding Sean to the studio. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Evening, folks. Sorry for interrupting. How's everyone?
We are well. How was your impression?
Hi, Sean. Look, I'm not in the chat.
You were okay, but that trivia has a little...
I'll have you a bit turned upside down, do I? Yeah, I did a load of questions last week and spent 2 hours doing them, and then I didn't transfer them properly, so we didn't end up using them. They were good.
Well, better than this week's.
Well, I spent more time on last week's. There was 1 or 2 clever ones.
Right. So yes, we're in the observation lounge. Data outlines his dilemma. The Doc thinks that she should be told the truth of her existence, because who would not want to know what they truly are? But Troy doesn't think that that's a good idea, because she believed that because she's been human her whole life, the truth would be devastating. Picard thinks it would be best to know the truth from her son, because if she found it any other way, then that would be worse. So Data's having a bit of a difficult time. He also, oh no. Come on. Putting the picture in the wrong place. Data's also having difficulty because if she knew she was an android, there would be something for them to share, and he would no longer be alone in the universe. So he's got that kind of competing, thing in his head that he has a biased opinion in this sort of thing. So he's very conflicted. Well,
That's
he says
something that always...
Sorry,
Oh,
go on.
go
Tom.
ahead.
No, go on.
I was going to say, that's something that always, confused me a little bit is, he doesn't have his emotion chip yet, but his actions oftentimes reflect a level of emotional understanding or a level of emotion. Like, he hesitates to throw Geordi into the deep end of stuff sometimes. He shows bias towards that, which, that in itself is an emotion. So it's very confusing to me at times. I understand the story logically. He doesn't get the emotion chip till later on implanted properly in Generations. But his actions throughout the series reflect an understanding of emotions that he often says I don't have.
He's right. He's always showing emotions, even though he supposedly doesn't have them. Yeah.
Well, Brent gets asked this a lot at conventions, and he says, "I always act without emotions. If you see me with emotions, that's the person who's watching it putting those emotions on me." That's his interpretation, and that's the version he's always going for.
Yeah. All right.
The one
Well, or at
thing
least that's what he says, because I've watched numerous recordings of various different conventions, and the question is always asked, and he always more or less gives that answer.
the one thing I do love about Data is he does show emotions, but he's like a child who doesn't understand emotions but displays them, but he doesn't get them. And that's what I think makes him a really good character, because he's like a little kid who knows who feels a way but doesn't understand it and can't work it out. So he doesn't equate it to an emotion, but it is an emotion, and that's when you see it come across.
Well, yeah, there's one episode, and I forget which one, and he says something like, basically, he gets used to people. His neural pathways form more efficiently around people he knows and interacts with more. And if they're no longer there, he doesn't function as he would normally expect to do. And that's his way of saying, I would miss people I'm used to being around. But he can't say that. But, you know, so it's in that area, but it's very convoluted and long-winded. So he does kind of feel it, but he doesn't at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and even though Brent Spiner said he wasn't putting emotions on it, the writing for the character was actually to show someone very blank at the beginning, and as the show progressed, he developed. So no, Brent Spiner didn't put anything into it, but the script has already decided that he will show these developments, and while he doesn't have emotions, it's constantly left out that just because you're android without emotions doesn't mean that you as a species is not going to develop your own set of how you feel, just because it's not the organic representation of it. He's a new subspecies of humanity. So I mean, it's and a lot of people who are like autistic really feel a kinship with Data, because often we don't feel emotions like everyone else, but they're actually there, and they cause problems because they are actually there. But anyway,
my wrench smiler rainbow pointed out that I probably should have done introductions. You know, Sean Q, Sean, Tired Time Lord, Sean, Tired Time Lord. Yeah. There you go, Smiler. I've done introductions now. Are you happy? Okay. After Data says, that, he's having difficulty with it because he's conflicted, because if he tells her, then he's no longer alone in the universe. Troy's like, okay, go on then. Just go and rob her of the one thing that she's got that you've been trying to achieve your whole life. Which was pretty savage of the counselor.
Yeah.
But she's not wrong.
I did like that. That was good writing right there.
You'd drown yourself in philosophy if you found out you're a robot. Like, am I really thinking my thoughts, or is it just a program telling me to think them? And you get all sorts of Freudian on the whole thing.
I fully believe in the simulation theory that we are all part of I believe the singularity already hit, and that this is a simulation being run by a higher level AI, and that
very possible.
We're not like matrixed in, like there is no physical body. We are part of the simulation. We are NPCs in the background of it. And, that sounds bad, but at the same time, I think, there are probably more simulated beings in existence than there are proper organics at base layer of reality, if that makes sense.
When quantum mechanics come along and told you that, atoms don't pop into existence until they're observed, that must have just been like, see?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, that's one. I'll be honest. That's one of the reasons why I believe the things I believe.
Does the universe exist at all? Is it just I am observing the universe, and anything that is not, I cannot see or hear, does not exist until I observe it? Everything, including all of you, is all.
I don't think the internet's ready for this level of my nonsense, and I haven't started putting that in. Like, I was thinking of starting to like filter that into my skits a little bit, but then I'm like, I don't think the internet's ready for that level of nonsense yet.
No,
I gotta wait till I develop a following, then I can go that crazy.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
They're gonna be like, oh god.
Yes.
Everything exists in all states until it's observed.
That's
so the
right.
cat is both alive and dead.
Yes, Schrodinger's cat. Yes. Anyway, okay, so we're later in sickbay. Data inserts the chip back into her brain box, and Data tells her that she broken her arm. That they fell. She broke her arm. The docs fixed it, and she's all fine now.
Broke.
Yeah. Your arm fell off, but it's all right.
It's all right, love. We stuck it back on. Super glue. After a successful mission, the planet is saved. It's all good. Data says goodbye to his mum, telling her that his dad told him when he met him that he had only had one great love of his life and that he regretted never telling her how much he cared for her. And he is certain that Noonien was referring to her. She tells him that the Antrian have a saying that a child born to loving parents will only have goodness in their heart. So that must explain Data.
Yeah, and they were having a fight when lore was being made, was it?
That's right. Yeah.
They didn't really love each other then.
No.
And someone had kicked someone in the head when B4 was being made, I guess.
Oh my. Yeah, I just
Maybe
watched
they weren't
Nemesis
married
the other
then.
day.
Maybe they weren't married until Data, so she's like, it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's I understand her sentiment, but it doesn't quite scan, does it? Anyway, she says their goodbyes. They have a hug and a kind of awkward kind of kiss, and she beams out. She's gone, and we never see her again. And that's the end of our episode, and our final question time.
Oh yeah, get that and paste it in there.
Mazima Bob has left a train and she's now in a taxi. Following the adventures of Mazima Bob during the evening, travelling across the country. We're now spanning England, Norway, United States and Ireland. The TNG review show is truly international this evening.
All around. All right, we got 5. Which human do we next see transferred into a Soong-built body? And the bonus, closest wins. What to the nearest 1,000? What? How many likes is Pretty Fly for an AI?
How many views? Excuse me, I meant to write views.
How many views?
So,
how many
Pretty
views?
Fly for an AI, it's out 2 weeks. How many views does it have? So just the nearest 1,000, 1,000, 2,000. Just put your
I'm
guess
gonna have
in.
to guess. I haven't seen it recently.
Well, everyone has to guess. That's part of the fun of it. There's no
I've
wheel
already
for this
mentioned
question.
that. I already mentioned that this evening because you weren't here. I said that you would be talking about it if you were on, so we should talk about it. But it's reached the top number of.
Oh no,
views on Starlight.
I'm just calling it quits after this week. But I'm gonna drag it out for this week, and I'm gonna shut up about it. But yeah, like actually, I won't say. I nearly said the number of views, but I will say he went from just shy of 3,000 subscribers to 4,500. So in 2 weeks, I wish you'd just given it to me and we put it on this channel. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, you weren't here at the beginning. I was telling them I hit a milestone up to 100 subscribers. Yay!
Nice. Well, I've been on this channel about 1.5 years. We've gone up about 110 or so. So we've a slow curve.
It's a slow upward trajectory.
Yeah.
The
About
shorts
2
are
a week.
doing surprisingly well, and they're
That's where we're
derpy.
going wrong.
Yeah. Why am I doing these 3-hour live streams? I should be doing 30-second shorts.
Well, you could cut out, I don't know, the questions or just when we say something stupid.
Let's face it, we're mostly doing it for ourselves.
Pretty much, yeah.
Progress.
I enjoy hanging out with you guys. And I know before you invited me on today, I look forward to these Wednesdays hanging out with everyone.
Oh,
That's
Like I
so
said,
right,
I
to
don't
be
get
honest.
out much. So this is, for me, this is interaction. This is
yeah.
hanging out.
It's hard to find like Star Trekky people who actually want to sit down and really talk about it.
I know.
But even-
that's another thing too. Like that's one of the reasons why I love popping in.
But even
It's
the
lovely
likes
to
of
have
Steve
you.
Shives does lives. Apologies for the rhyme. And you know, reviews Trek episodes, and like 100 people tune in, but he has over 100 and odd thousand subscribers. so it's to get a big audience for these things is kind of hard.
Yeah, yeah. Is that everybody's answered? I think we've. Mouse says NFI, NFI. She's given up the ghost on that one.
I feel like we're all going to be wrong with Picard.
Yeah, I think it.
Well,
is
I did say Soong built. I didn't say Noonien Soong built.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
Yeah, I think you already answered. Yeah, Alton Inigo song is a song too. Yeah,
that's
no,
true.
it was Picard, and yeah, I didn't put in answers because it would have been too obvious. And tired. I don't know if you just cheated and looked it up, but yeah, it's bang on 41k, and you're very, very unlucky, Monty, because 38k was a hell of a guess.
I think that's what it was when I
last.
last saw it, so I figured it was going to be over
Well,
that.
I mean, it's probably
oh,
not so good.
were
for
we
Time
not supposed to
Lord
look it
because
up? I totally did. Sorry.
No,
You asked
that's,
the question. I'm like, there's YouTube. I'm just
that's
gonna
what
check.
Google's for.
That's cheating.
Fair enough.
And then you called me out on it. I'm like, I guess I wasn't supposed to look it up.
Brilliant.
Gene's in the house.
Hey, good evening, G. Yeah, we had great fun on the Monty Zone on Friday. That was good.
I didn't get to see it. I was rehearsing again, but sometimes it is fun to throw in an impossible question like that just at the end, just in case someone's winning, just to throw the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Upset us
so-
to change the result.
So does that mean then that Tired Time Lord is on the wheel?
Alone.
No, he
alone?
just wins. It's closest wins on that one.
Yeah, no,
What?
he's got. He's a bonus
Have
question,
you
isn't it?
deprived
So
Wookiee of his prey?
he's got to
somebody
be on the
else have
wheel.
Oh, seriously? Oh, the way I wrote it was just the closest wins. Okay.
No,
All right.
no.
Well, like I guess you're second closest, so I guess the two of you can go on to make it a chance.
No, it's all right. I'll put him on by himself.
Okay, that's the host's priority.
Throwing me into the deep end, I see.
Yeah, there we go. Let's put loads of them on there. There we go.
All right.
Right, let's spin the wheel.
Hermit
I'm
Wizard
rooting for you,
Magic,
Time Lord. I'm
Hermit
rooting for
Wizard
you.
Magic.
And hey, he looked it up, so
There you
All
go,
right.
sir.
That
You
works.
got the
it's
10 points.
anyway.
You got the 10 points, Tired.
Woohoo!
I'm not sure what difference that makes to the overall scores, but we're about to find out. So that is the end of the episode. So that's the end of our quiz. All bingo and quiz elements are now frozen. We'll now give Tavykins a few minutes to calculate all the results.
Few minutes.
A few minutes. While she's doing that, everybody, if you'd like to think about what you'd rate this episode out of 10, so from 0 to 10, what would you say about inheritance? What would you rate this episode? Put that in live chat. Your score out of 10. Yes. And
Oh man, this is a lot of math.
yes. Maz is saying, G should
feel
jump
like
on
I'm-
the show.
I feel like I'm often compelled to give stuff a rating of 7, and not just here, but like when I'm doing reviews for my channel, I feel like I'm compelled to say 7 out of 10, because that's the middle ground. Anything below that and it looks like it's bad, and anything above that, it looks like it's too good. And so I always feel compelled to give everything a 7 out of 10 rating, unless it like either really did something good or really did something bad. And then even then, I don't deviate more than like 1 or 2 drops unless it really tanked.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever given less. I think I gave a 3 once, but I think 4 is generally the lowest I ever go, and rarely go above 8. I feel similar kind of thing.
I think we've given out some zeros before. I think G did when he was on this the Underground Paradox. There, I think he gave a 0 to a couple of episodes.
You all have been doing this show since the like you started with season 1, episode 1. Did you review The Child? I'm assuming.
Yeah, we've been through them all.
Oh my! I had to watch that twice in my chronological rewatch because it's in TNG, but it's also in the fan show that Star Trek Continues, or no, Star Trek New Voyages, and it was cringy in both. It is the cringiest episode in my opinion.
That's the one where Deanna gets pregnant and doesn't the abortion episode, yeah, or the anti-abortion episode.
Yeah,
and then the people like the Catholic people who were anti-abortion gave out about the episode because there was a pro-abortion message, and then the pro-abortion people gave out about it because it was an anti-abortion message, and they had record complaints from both sides at the same time.
Oh man,
that's about the most interesting thing about it. Yeah, it's not great. Clumsy.
Clumsy is a good word for it. I like that.
Clumsy. Right, I'll go get the scoring sheet up so we can add your scores to it. Yep, so sorry, we're banning you from using a number 7 then. You're going to have to think of another number.
Okay, fair enough.
No, you can have 7. What did G give a 0 to? He gave a 1 to Justice and a 1 to Too Short a Season.
Oh, Justice is awful.
1 to Up a Long Ladder and Shades of Grey.
Oh, that's fair. Oh, definitely. Shades of Grey should be a 0. That's awful.
I'm sure he gave a 0 to something. Oh, Home Soil. He gave Home Soil a 0.
Which one was that?
I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. But
what's Home Soil when she's at home?
It's the one where there's a terraforming operation.
Oh yeah, the robots.
The
nanobots. The nanobots come alive.
Yeah,
come alive.
They're terraforming the salty water planet. Yeah.
Yes.
Human or carbon
Ugly
units of mostly water or whatever it is. That's what it is.
Ugly bags of mostly water.
Yeah. It kills the dude with the laser.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
And it's like a cheesy Murder She Wrote episode. It's not great.
Yeah. I think that was the
Did
only.
You know that Kate Mulgrew played Columbo's wife? There was a short Columbo's wife series talking about detectives. You just reminded me, and Star Trek. You just reminded me of it. She was Lady Columbo in the spin-off series, and this was before Star Trek, but after Columbo Man. I think
she was a lead in 2 different shows long before Voyager. She left college and she was a lead, and she had a lead on a soap and a lead on a drama at the same time. I mean, she was huge. Like, they were telling her to go back to college. Like, I'm the lead in 2 shows. What are you talking about?
Now you brought up the detectives. That just reminds me of one of my favourite TNG episodes where Moriarty becomes real.
Yes.
And Data Sherlock. And he gains a conscious, his hologram.
Just reading.
I thought that one was really nice. And it actually pissed me off when Picard season 3 came out and they teased everybody with Moriarty.
Oh.
And lore. And that, what's messed up is all the alternatives that everyone was theorizing would have been a better script for season 3 if they'd have done what fans thought they could have done with that.
This is a missed opportunity for Star Trek. My biggest one of those is Discovery, when they're showing all the Klingon houses, joining in on the video chat or the hologram chat. What they could have done is shown each house with their own different look. You have TOS Klingons, you have, TNG era ones, you've got Discovery Klingons, and then that would have shown us, that would have made everything kind of unified and show that different houses have different looks because maybe this house was infected with the augment virus. Maybe this house, I have a theory that Takuma and his house, they use genetic modification from the sarcophagus ship, and that's why they look so much more Klingon. They used ancient DNA to, bolster themselves, to remain Klingon, to make themselves more Klingon. And this would have gone back to before Takuma, came into power, because it shows him as a child looking, like the Discovery Klingons. So his house would have been doing genetic modification. And this is where I say it's just a big missed opportunity that they could have unified, all of these different random theories under one thing by showing different houses looking different, and joining.
I think you've just
Discovery
put a lot more
was a show
thought
where
into
they wrote
Discovery
it from
than
people who didn't know anything too well.
Yeah, that's more thought than into Discovery than the producers of Discovery themselves did to Discovery.
Well, this guy Brian Fuller was the original showrunner, and he'd written on DS9 and Voyager, and he was around for the episode not reunification. I forget the name of the episode where they see the ancient Klingons from 200 years ago, from the TOS era, turn up, and they all look like the TNG Klingons. And he just decided to go with this really weird, out there, almost... what's the guy who did the first two Batman films? What's his name?
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton,
yeah, like the Tim Burton version of Star Trek. And he built all the sets, and everyone hated what he was doing, and they fired him, and they brought in Kurtzman, who isn't much better, but they brought him in. But the thing was, they'd already spent like 5 or 6 million on sets. They couldn't just scrap them. They just had to use them. And all the Klingon makeup and the pieces, they were all there. So they just had to go with it. That's pretty much what happened.
I liked the way the Klingons looked in Discovery. I know that a lot of people didn't, but I thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mind how they looked. The problem was that they were Klingons. If they were, I don't know, erase the far side of the Andorians, the Takumans, fine. or they were, as I said, they were some genetic colony of superhuman or super Klingons, similar to the way the Botany Bay, they'd come off a ship or something, and they were from the Enterprise era, but they'd been in stasis and came out, and they were genetic experiments, and they were called, they take it over, similar to the way Shinzon took over. There was ways of doing it that didn't involve saying all Klingons look like this, and that's not what they went with.
Yep.
Right. We think we found your 100th subscriber, Time Lord.
Yeah.
G from the Underground Paradox. Very cool.
I'm having an issue with Bingo. It's no longer showing me the cards. So it just stopped in the middle of my... It just stopped in the middle of my tallying. Hold on, let me close out and see if I can open up the tab again. Because it just shows blank cards.
Oh dear. Well, should we do the scoring for the episode then? In that case, while we're waiting for you to.
Yeah, may as well.
Let me just get my score. We've got paddles, Time Lord. Now you haven't got a paddle, so you can just shout your score out.
Wait, hold on. Give me a moment here. Oh well, I already put it in the chat, but I can definitely make something here. Give me just 1 second.
Q doesn't have. Chris, you don't have a camera, so you'll just have to shout yours out.
We'll just do a moopsie interval.
Yeah, it's a moopsie.
Okay, that killed 10 seconds.
I'm ready with the scores that I do have, but no, tentatively it could change according to Bingo. However,
okay. Oh well, let's do that now.
So.
Then, if you've got the scores, let's do the scores then for the quiz. Go for it.
Okay, number one tonight with 315 points is Ruth. She gets the plus 10.
She gets the 10 points. Well done, Ruth.
Second place is Mazzo at 215. She gets
That's
plus 9.
points. So that's 77.
Next, we've got Monty, number 3,
Oh.
195 points.
I was surprised by that.
Gets
76.
plus 8. Stu Plum comes in 4th with 150. He gets the plus 7.
39.
If I lean back too far, I'm just
You
a
disappear. You beam
I'm
out.
just a head floating in a hallway.
next?
Tired Time Lord is the next with 120 points. He gets plus 6.
6.
You see, the trick is not to use the virtual background. What you need is an actual gate room, and then just set up in the gate room and have the Stargate open.
Or lying around, right?
Yeah,
Just-
exactly. That'll work.
So that's what he's got in his basement. Yeah. Who's next?
And the next is the Beard, my hubbiness, with 60 points. He gets 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming up next with 30 points from Bingo, so I get 4.
4.
And Smiley Rainbow is next with 15 points. He gets 3.
3, 26, 27, 8, 29.
And we have a gentleman that came. Oh, wait. Yeah, Chris. Chris came in with 120. Oh.
Have you just messed me
the
up?
scores.
Oh, no.
Chris is 20. So he's up there with Tired Time Lord. What did Tired Time Lord have? Hold on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Chris, the new person, Chris also gets 6, so it doesn't mess up anything.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Right.
Great. This is why Mazda does it.
Oh my god, this is what this is why Maz does it. Right, okay, so Chris has got 6.
How did I get 6? I only answered part of one question.
You answered one of the later questions. As the questions go on, they are worth more points, and the last one's 120.
Ah, fair enough.
So the one question you got gave you 120 points.
So the first question is only 20, and the last one's 120. So
It ramps up, as it goes through.
Yeah.
So who was after Chris again?
Oh no, none of the scores have changed. So
I know,
he's
but I
tied
undid
with
it.
Time Lord.
I know I undid it, so I need you to tell me again.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Then you've got the Beard.
All right.
With 5.
5. So he was on 28, and then Smiler Rainbow was it with 4?
No, me with 4.
Oh, you with
Smiler
4. 4, and then Smiler with 3. She's on 29, and that was it then. Yay, we get there in the end.
Yep.
And I'll just do a quick reshuffle of the scoreboard. And then we're done. B column and that. It's changed the top. So well done, Ruth, for overtaking Stupa in the race for the top. And well done to Mazima Bob for overtaking me for the 3rd place. And
it's tight at the top.
It is all tight this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very tight this season. And how do I reset that? There we go. And we've got Chris now on the scoreboard as well. Tired Time Lord ejected himself from the studio.
Sorry.
No, we're back.
You're back up there. There we go. So yes, scores out of 10. Got your paddles ready for those people that got paddles. Chris is ready to.
I don't know if this is gonna work. We'll try.
Shout his score, and Tired Time Lord's jury rigged something. So here we go. What do you rate this episode out of 10? 3, 2, 1.
6.5.
How much was it for you, Chris?
6.5.
6.5. Right.
So it's a 7.
Yeah, we have the rule is we round up. If you give
All right, then 7.
Seven. That was a full batch of 7s. That's very rare, isn't it?
I liked it, and there was a few logic errors in it that didn't quite make sense. That brings it down. But I mean, if it wasn't for the silly things like, why was your man on the planet and then it was up? Why did they go down and they were in such a rush? How did they beam down into little pockets 2 kilometers from the center of the planet? It's just not possible. There's all sorts of little silly things. My pet hate Data using a right-handed violin always annoys me.
Oh, because he's left-handed.
Yeah, because he's left-handed.
Why would he use a left-handed one?
Because he's left-handed. Everything he does is left-handed, and then when you give him an instrument, it's always right-handed because they never had left-handed instruments.
There's an
And
Android.
he's just like fake playing it. It's just
Do left-handed people get left-handed violins? Why?
yes.
I'm
Well, I guess you
left-handed.
can turn. I guess you can just turn the bridge around and switch the strings.
Well,
and peg.
you mightn't be that bad with a violin, but you hold it out the other way. But I mean, I used to have a left-handed bass, so you strum with your left hand and you use the frets with your right. And to do it the other way feels extremely awkward. I can't do it.
Yeah, I was about to say
Same
there are
with guitar.
basses that are like I play bass guitar. That I'm not really good at music, but you know they have left-handed basses because you know it's expected you use your left to work the fret and your right to work the strings.
Like
Not a
Jimi
lot of
Hendrix.
people know that you have left-handed fountain pens
Yeah.
because left-handed people write different, and we destroy a normal fountain pen.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
write
yeah,
with one.
I
So they
actually have a
left-handed
left-
nibs.
I actually have a
really?
left-handed pen. I don't have it to hand, but it has like a special grip on it, so it's more comfortable for a lefty to
They have
use.
a different shaped nib on a fountain pen as well, so you
Yeah,
can break the nib.
It's turned at an angle because when you're left-handed, you push the pen. When you're right-handed, you drag it. So it's different. It's very different.
Maz Ram
I never knew that.
Nanite.
Yeah, us cock-handed people are very special.
So it was a 7 from G in the Underground Paradox. It was an 8 from Ruth. It was a 8 from Stuplum. A 7 from Tired Time Lord. 7 from Wookie. And it was a 7 from Chris. So how many 7s is that? That's Chris 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 7s. And 1, 2, 3 8s. So I'd say that was 7. So it's a 7 across the entire board then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good episode. It has a few logical flaws that just annoy me.
It sort of puts it in the smack bang middle of the episodes so far this season. So it puts it 6th best out of 10.
I have a feeling. Go on, sorry.
I do have headcanon for this episode. So when you're done,
Okay. I was gonna say I do think next week is gonna score much higher. I think it's one of the all-time best, possibly top 10 episodes.
Parallels.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, with all the enterprises. We didn't know there was gonna be so many enterprises. Yeah, that's great.
So
the
that's
border
part of
winning.
that's part of my theory on the timelines is that the multiverse exists, which we see in parallels, and that is that or anything that can happen does happen. So sorry, it's a whole thing. I will go off on a tangent, a very medicinal induced tangent. So
Yeah, we want to save the parallels discussion till next week. We'll be talking about.
But
parallels.
yeah, all the continuity things they do and the way they changed all the sets and changed the uniforms and there's one time there's a Ferengi at the con and it's just great. It's just
crazy Riker.
Yeah, with the big haggard beard. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I do.
So yeah, we can look forward to that one.
The Underground Paradox. G pointed out that Data's mum was a great actor. she is. But the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
she
she
played
comes
it was
back.
just a little too anti-hero, and by the very end, the character is just annoys you.
Yeah, she's much her role in Enterprise is really good in Enterprise. Her role in DS9 not so much.
So she's good
But
and
she
Lost
kind of-
as well. She's really good.
Oh
in
yeah,
Lost.
she's great in that. Perfect role for her. But I mean, she was nominated for an Oscar like in the 70s. I mean, Fionnuala's been around forever. Fionnuala rather has been around forever. You know, she's really been at the heights of it.
Yeah. That's it. That's our episode.
That is not it. I still got headcanon. I told you.
Oh,
All right.
you're sorry. Yes, your headcanon for this episode.
You will not silence me.
Sorry, Tammy.
This is the Data
Yes.
episode.
Sorry.
We forgot to bring up the fact that like people were wondering what happened. How did that hologram chick get back into
Yeah.
to her? I do believe that like imagine he's got his wife dies,
Yeah.
and in his distraught state, he fixes up a machine to put her in it. He has to still bury the real wife. So you have to imagine the head screw that he goes through. And so, you know, he has to bury his actual wife or do whatever he does with the body. Hopefully nothing weird. And now he's got a new one, and he's got to look at her and treat her like the real Juliana. You also have to imagine, after all this, when things start calming down, he's left his masterpiece on the planet. He finds out distantly that he gets activated and dude is awesome and he finally did it. And my wife made me leave him behind. She ended up dying anyway. And secondly, the fact that he is obsessed with his work is the irony in the fact that she exists now. And I was like, if he wasn't obsessed with his work, honey, you would have stayed dead. So it's such a, kind of lucked out for you there. I mean, she doesn't know that. But you can imagine imagine being a widower and then also seeing your dead wife still walking around and arguing with you and wanting to do. And then she leaves and he's like, okay, fine. It ends up going to pieces. She leaves and he has to deal with that grief. He has to deal with that emotions, the bitterness. And then he's like, you know what? She's going to live her life. Because he looks like he's older. And what's stopping him from going recall button like he did with his two sons? And she ends up coming back not knowing how she got there.
I'm just wondering if the neighbors
and
had
then
anything to say.
he puts that hologram chip in there because now he's had time to grow the fuck up and get over it. And he's like, look, I want her to live her life. If she's actually out there and I love her, she's going to get jacked up if she's just whatever. But at the same time, you have to admit, this is my ex-wife. She left me. And so, but he puts that chip in there and be like, look, you lost everything because you wholeheartedly threw yourself into what I was doing and it ended up killing you. I can see that why he would put that chip in and just be like, all right, go be happy. Hopefully someone doesn't find out you're an android. I don't want to take that from you. Because, I mean, you have to think, she actually, if she does find out she's human, it's going to be like, well, how did I die? Oh, yeah, you actually died when Lore went batshit crazy. So.
Well, I'm just wondering if anyone noticed, anyone was like, hey, your wife died and now she's up walking around again. Maybe you want to answer some questions there?
They were on Talana 4. They were on Talana 4 on a big forest planet, the forest moon of Endor, with no other people there. There was a few monkeys and trees. There was nobody to ask questions. And I would say there's two episodes I'm thinking of. One is I, Mud, the episode where Mud has a planet full of androids and they're all really pretty. Yeah. And then the Enterprise basically changes it so the androids are left are copies of his ex-wife who just order him about at the end of it. Pretty funny. The other thing I'm thinking of is Rick and Morty, where they accidentally destroy their entire universe and they have to jump to a different universe, and they wait for the other Rick and Morty to be exploded, killed in an explosion, and they have to bury their own bodies and then assume their lives and just
In
move
the
on and pretend
backyard.
nothing happened. And even in later episodes, they show the outline of the graves because they still haven't filled in properly.
Yeah. Hello, Mouse.
Hiya.
Hello,
Just thought
welcome.
I'd quickly jump on, more
Say
for the
hello.
after party, but you're still
Yeah.
live.
Still alive. Yeah, still going on. Do you think with your headcanon, Tavi, do you think there might have been some, like, resentment? That maybe, like, he didn't show her as much love as he could because, he had lost his actual wife. And whilst he built this android version, that because, like, she was still walking around but not really alive. Do you think there's some
like,
psychological
I think
issues going on there?
I think he had to deal with severe mind fuck. Because she's dead, but she's not dead. So he has to grieve alone for a dead wife, but she's actually there. So imagine knowing that your wife has died. You had to bury her. So that grief is all his. So she's like, oh, he just wanted to, like, be in his work and not pay any attention or not talk to anybody. I was like, well, of course not. And he's traumatized.
Well,
so
what I would say, what we know,
the point where he's like, no, I don't think Laura was like that. For all you know, he could have known it this entire time, and by the end of his death, he's still so traumatized that he's like, no, I can't, I just can't.
Well, what we know about Noonien is he was always, because he mentions it in the episode he dies. I forget the name of it now. But Laura's like, goes to him, why didn't you fix me? And he's really upset about it. And then he replies, because the next step was to go, I had to move on to the next thing. I was going to come back and fix you, but, like, I needed to move on, So he was always, like, about the next project, about the next breakthrough, about the next innovation. So I don't think, when he was putting her in the android body, that was his focus. The moment he had her in the android body, it was on to the next project. And he started neglecting her, and that's why she went away. But he barely noticed or he didn't care because he was just focused on his work.
But anyone who's been divorced or had to leave a long time or a very deeply connected significant relationship, there's very rarely situations where you break up and there's no hard feelings.
Just went through a gnarly divorce. Like, right before I met all of you and started coming into the chat often, just went through a gnarly divorce. Literally am finishing up the last issues with custody now. My ex fought me every step of the way. And of course it was about money. She wanted money that she wasn't due. And her lawyer finally told her, yeah, we don't have a case. He's over here being super dad, I don't drive anymore because of my central nervous system issues, so I moved a couple blocks from the school so I could walk my son to and from school so I could, be there for him. And the courts were like, yeah, this guy's being super dad over here. You don't have a case. If this goes to a judge, you could lose custody to my ex. That's what the mediator told her. And that was the only reason we just stopped, so there are some hard feelings. Talking about there's always hard feelings at the end of it. And now she's trying, she sent me a friend request on Facebook like a week after everything was done. And I was like, no, I'm not entertaining that.
You're not friends.
I'm
sorry not to air
that.
my dirty laundry in the middle of, your show.
Sorry to hear that, Ty. That's, it's not.
I'm a cheery mother bleeper.
Mother fluffer. Good night, G. See you next week, sir. Thank you for coming along. You are. With the best giggles in the world that we're going to have to add to the bingo card. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks, Maz, for popping in after your travelling down from London.
Yeah, I wasn't really going to stop long because, I got, my taxi came at 5 o'clock this morning. So I've been on the go for quite a long day.
Yeah. That's a heck of a travel. Well, welcome back.
Will you
be joining us next week as normal?
I believe so, yes. I am going to London again on Sunday. Oh, Mipsy time! Mipsy kisses!
Moopsies.
I love my Moopsie. Earlier, I was missing Moopsie. I was like, oh, I don't get to play with Moopsie this episode, but now I do. Yay.
There you go. You fitted it in.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Sits right next to me in my office. Yeah, but anyway, it's been a long day.
Yes. So we'll pull it to an end here. Thank you to my co-hosts, Tavikins Turner, Tired Time Lord, Mazin Bob, Q, and Chief Sean. Thank you to everyone in live chat, including Stu Plum, Wookie, Ruth, my Wrench Smiler Rainbow, G from the Underground Paradox, Andy Steeth, and anyone else that's popped along. If you're watching this back non-live, feel free to comment what you thought about this episode in the comments below. And if you're free next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we'll be discussing and consigning to our vault the next episode, Parallels, in Season 7 of Star Trek The Next Generation. So join us next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, UK time, for all you international viewers. Yeah, we'll see you then. Cheers. Don't disappear, Q.
Don't leave, Time Lord.
Don't leave. But we're going from YouTube. So cheers, everyone. See you next week.
We're just stopping the live stream, but stay.